Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Killer Koala here with another episode of Top 100 Horror, where each week we sit down and we pick a random movie from this lovely poster right here and we watch it and react to it and review it. If that sounds like something that you would be interested in following along with, please feel free to subscribe, like and comment, and turn on post notifications and all of that fun stuff. But otherwise, you know the drill. So let's pick a movie and get started. So, we will be watching The Evil Dead from 1981. I've never seen The Evil Dead before. I have seen that other movie. I can't remember what it's called now. I can't remember what it's called, but my husband made me watch it not too long ago. I feel like it's the one that's set directly after Evil Dead, and he gets sent back to like medieval times or whatever. I've seen that, but I haven't seen this one. So I'm kind of excited. I hear that Evil Dead is a pretty good movie. It's pretty iconic. I don't know anything about it, but let's watch it. Alright, The Evil Dead from 1981. The Evil Dead is an American independent supernatural horror movie. It is written and directed by Sam Raimi, who is a very iconic writer and director, especially in the horror genre. This movie is about 5 friends in a remote cabin who unwittingly unleash an ancient evil after discovering a cursed book and recorded incantations. So, yeah, that's what we're going to be watching today. The ratings on IMDb are 7.3 out of 10. We've got an 85% on Rotten Tomatoes. So, overall, pretty good ratings. I've heard that this movie is really good, especially for an 80s horror movie. Very iconic. Everyone sort of knows or has heard about The Evil Dead before. So, let's watch it.
Warning: intense horror content ahead. This video contains frightening scenes, intense themes, and potentially graphic imagery that may be disturbing to some viewers. Please watch at your own discretion.
Alright, time to set the mood as always. Perfect. Alright guys, let's press play. Also, I put the jacket on because it's freezing in my house. It's like hot outside because it's summer, and usually that means it would be hotter inside because my house has zero insulation. It's not the case today. It is an ice box inside this house. So, this is what we're dealing with.
It might be kind of nice.
Yeah. It's probably a real pit.
Yeah, I think this is where we get off.
Yeah. So they're going to the middle of the forest to stay in a cabin that no one's ever seen before. Of course they are. Well, this is kind of pretty though. At nighttime would be so scary. But in the daytime, pretty, right? Right? That is the dingiest cabin I've ever seen in my whole entire life, genuinely. That's fucking wild. I'm not staying in there. Huh? Sorry? What is that? Is that supposed to be like a head? God, they wasted really no time, did they? What are we, like 10 minutes in? Oh, no, thank you. No. You couldn't pay me any amount of money to go down there. I'm telling you right fucking now. I'm not going down there. Huh. Well, doesn't that look familiar? I don't know why you're going looking, girl. Like, why has she gone out there all by herself? Sorry, I don't mean to laugh. It's just so 80s. Was that... Was that what I thought it was? Because that's crazy if it was. God, they're always fucking falling over. They're always falling over. Yeah. Oh, of course. Of course. The car doesn't start. Car doesn't work. Yep. You're kidding. It's kind of interesting seeing Ash in this because obviously I've seen like the What is the prequel? Not prequel, sequel to this. Okay, yes. Army of Darkness, I've seen. And it's very interesting seeing Ash in this movie, because obviously I've seen him in Army of Darkness, and it's a very different vibe, a very different tone. So they have resurrected something from that fucking book. And apparently the only way to help or get rid of it from the person that it possesses is to dismember them. That's awesome. I beg your fucking pardon? Well, now you've got to dismember her. Poor Cheryl. Oh my god. Don't touch her. Ah! Oh my god. Ah! Wait, was that with a pencil? Was that with a pencil? Ah! Ah! Oh! Ah! Oh! Ah!
I think there's something.
Oh my god, what the fuck? What the fuck? Oh, you think? No fucking kidding. No, something else is happening. See? Okay. Cut her limbs off! Ah! Okay, that's what I wanted, but it's just... Okay, it's crazy. Ash, do something. Oh! So much of this is going to be blurred for viewer comfort, unfortunately. So, like, I'm so sorry that you guys can't see how fucked up this is. Oh my god, that hurt my chest. Stop getting close to them, okay? Just, like, mutilate them with the axe. Ah! Oh! 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 Jeez! Oh my god! Icon though. If I was possessed like that, I would want my man to kill me. I think he'd be doing me a favor, personally. It's a trick! Oh my god, you dumb idiot, it's a trick. Don't unlock it. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Don't unlock it. Ugh. I hate when they do that. You can mourn her later. Mourn her later. And men say women are emotional. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking. You need to dismember her. I think. He's being a foolish man right now. Because she's just gonna come back if you bury her, right? That's kind of how it works. I think. Stop doing that! Stop doing that! Stop doing that! Oh my god! Ah! Oh! Close your mouth! Oh my god! Oh no. Oh no, where's Cheryl? Oh no. Oh my god, Ash. You've done it this time, brother, I tell you. I wouldn't be feeling all that safe with the shotgun in hand. In fact, I'd feel a lot safer with a chainsaw, because we already know that they need to be dismembered, and a chainsaw is probably the best way to dismember somebody. If you need to dismember someone out of a shotgun and a chainsaw, you're picking the chainsaw. Oh my god, do something! Whew. This is gruesome. I want to know how many liters of fake blood they used for this movie. I want to know how much. Is that all he needed to do? No. What the fuck is going on? I don't understand. Yuck. Sam Raimi, what the fuck is wrong with you? I just want you to hold my hands when I tell you this. You are fucked up. Oh, it's daylight. Finally. Interesting how that ended, because obviously, anyway,
Okay,
it doesn't matter.
we're
done. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna go do a little bit of research, and then I will be back in very, very shortly to discuss this movie with you. Alright guys, so let's talk about The Evil Dead, written and directed by Sam Raimi from 1981. So I've got some fun facts up on the screen over here, so we're going to go through some of them that I found kind of interesting. I wanted to know how much fake blood they used, because we saw a lot of fake blood in that movie. It was just squirting out of every fucking orifice, every spot possible. Like, I wanted to know how much they used. Apparently, they actually didn't use all that much. So in comparison to the remake, Evil Dead Rise, that was released in 2023, where they used 1,700 plus gallons, because the original Evil Dead had such a low budget of about $350,000, they actually ended up relying more on practical gore, ketchup, and syrup rather than actual fake blood. So they ended up using about 200 to 300 gallons. So when they were filming this movie, the whole crew, which was 13 people, actually stayed in that tiny little cabin. So while they were filming this movie, 13 people were sleeping and living in that tiny little cabin while they were doing it. And there were actually a ton of injuries during the filming process. Apparently they got super hopelessly lost in the woods on the very first day of filming. Several crew members got injured during filming, and because of the remoteness of the area, it was like really hard obtaining medical assistance. And Betsy Baker, one of the actresses, had her eyelashes ripped off when her face mask was removed as well. So it wasn't just the behind the scenes crew that had some injuries, the actors also did as well. The crew had to start burning furniture to stay warm on set as the days went on. As they were in the last few days of filming, the conditions became so extreme that the crew actually had to burn furniture, because at that point only the exterior shots needed to be filmed, so they burnt nearly every piece of furniture that was inside that cabin. The reason why we saw them like spitting out like that white liquid and they had like blue goop coming out of their mouth was because Sam Raimi actually thought that if he used different colors rather than bright red, that the censor boards would be more lenient on him with the movie and the censorship, but they weren't. It didn't make a difference because it's still disgusting bodily fluid spraying everywhere. So it didn't matter that he changed the color of it, but that's why he made some of the blood white and blue, and it honestly was disgusting, to be completely honest. I would have preferred it to be all red rather than white. Because they were also on a tight budget, they couldn't have a steady cam. So that's why we sort of see them making the most of the shaky cam sort of technique, which was very unique for the Evil Dead and like many horror movies at the time. The shaky cam wasn't really utilized to that point. So yeah, the Evil Dead is kind of iconic for sort of creating that sort of shaky cam look, I suppose, which is pretty cool. A lot of the sound effects were unfortunately not recorded properly during the shooting, so they had to be redone in editing rooms. We see this a lot with movies anyway. Dead chickens were stabbed to replicate the sounds of mutilated flesh, and Cable had to scream into a microphone for several hours in order to get the sound effects that they needed. When the movie actually premiered at cinemas, there were blood donor stations set up so people could donate blood, and when people donated blood, they got a little pin that said, I bled for the Evil Dead, which I think is really fucking cool, you know, going for a good cause, I guess. So I actually kind of knew this one. Raimi actually made a special homage to Wes Craven in The Evil Dead. So The Hills Have Eyes 1977 poster can be seen in The Evil Dead was the director's tribute to the ripped Jaws 1975 poster, which can be seen in Wes Craven's The Hills Have Eyes. Craven was so honored that he made sure to repay the homage by having character Nancy watch The Evil Dead in A Nightmare on Elm Street. And then Raimi responded back by hanging a Freddy glove above the tool shed in Evil Dead 2. I had seen an interview of Sam Raimi sort of talking about how they sort of went back and forth with the movie posters in the background. In terms of practical effects, they used like marshmallows and oatmeal and shit like that, which I was actually going to say, when the zombies were like fucking exploding and melting at the end, I thought that the gross, pussy, yellowy, gross shit kind of looked like oatmeal. But yeah. They also used mashed up cockroaches. So they used a lot of like really crazy creative stuff in order to make this movie work. The cabin ended up getting burnt following the wrap of the principal photography for the film. All that remains in the spot today is the crumbling fireplace and part of the chimney, but the whole cabin has been destroyed. Bruce Campbell also, just a fun little note, mortgaged his family's property for the 35mm blow up of the film, so that actually ended up getting him producer credits, I believe. Overall, that was a really fun movie. That was for an old 80s movie, I can really appreciate that for what it is. Obviously very gory, very bloody, but a very, very fun movie. I think it's so interesting sort of doing the research after watching it as well, knowing how much sort of effort they put into and all the different things that they used and how creative they got in order to make this movie work, especially on such a low budget. Sam Raimi had to like ask so many people to like invest in this film to make it happen. I think it's really, really cool. I think it's definitely worth a watch. Considering everything is so obviously fake and low budget, it's still very gross. It still gets that same sort of feeling across. It makes you feel a little bit sickly. It makes you feel genuinely scared. That was a scary, yuck. That had me on the edge of my seat. I really, really fucked with that. So overall, what am I going to give this movie rating-wise? Hey, Editing Kiara here. We have to stop meeting like this. Anyway, my camera decided to cut out. I think I accidentally pressed the spacebar while I was on my filming software, and which stopped filming as I was giving my review. So it's 4 out of 5 stars from me. Okay, 4 out of 5. I thought it was fucking awesome. Anyway, back to my outro. If you like this video, please feel free to subscribe, turn on post notifications, like, comment, share it with your friends. I'm here every single week to go through a new horror movie with you so we can react to it and review it. I really appreciate you guys being here, and I will see you next week. Feel free to follow me on my socials. Obviously, subscribe to me here. You can also follow me on TikTok and Instagram if you want to see what I get up to there. But otherwise, see you next time. Bye!